I am a terrible wife and I didn't understand my husband of 10 years.
Oh,
Yeah, so kind of similar vibe to
very
One We
similar.
Read,
Yeah.
right?
Very similar
And I
title
was
for
like,
sure.
this is almost the exact same thing, right? And then I read it and I was like, okay, I could use it. It is the top one of the week. So,
Oh,
you
shit.
know, people love the story, I guess.
People demand it.
The people demanded it. All right. I, 38 female, have been married to my husband, 38 male, for 10 years. We dated for 2 years before marriage, but also dated a year and a half during the end of our college years. My husband is a good man. He works from home as a tech executive. She must be nice. God.
Damn.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck my life.
Damn, call us poor, why don't you?
Yeah. He goes into his office around 7:30 a.m. and works until 6 p.m. every day. In addition to this, he'll do the laundry every week while I'm at work, does most of the cooking, almost all of the meal planning, and spends all of his time with me and his extended family. When
Holy
he's
shit.
not working, he spends most of his free time working on projects around our property, small renovation projects. Parentheses, he renovated our entire home himself when we bought it. Improvements to our yard, such as a huge deck, a fancy patio, pergolas, custom wood furniture. He is completely supportive of me, encourages me in positive ways, and pushes me to pursue my interests. I could not ask for a better partner. He really is a dream come true.
Hell yeah.
My husband does well professionally. He doesn't spend much on much. I read that wrong. He doesn't spend money on much beyond tools to aid in our ever ongoing renovation projects. He always has been difficult to give meaningful gifts to. For Christmas this year, he just didn't even ask for anything. When I asked him what he'd like for Christmas, he told me that he didn't need anything. And this is his default response when it comes to any gift-giving occasion. His birthday, Christmas. He's even asked me specifically in the past not to give him anything for Valentine's Day or for our anniversary. This has always made me want to put in more effort. But the truth is, the more effort I put in, the less he seems to like whatever I give him. He tells me he likes it whenever I give it to him, whatever I give to him. But his smile doesn't seem authentic, and he doesn't really seem to express any interest in most things I give him beyond the moment, as if the interest he expresses is more of an appeasement. He doesn't own much beyond tools and a not collectible sneaker collection. He just likes relatively mundane sneakers and books, most of which are work related. But before his birthday this year, I asked him if he wanted what he wanted for his birthday. He said, I don't need anything. I mulled this over, and then I fell down a rabbit hole on the internet about relationship advice. This led me going back to him and asking him what he would like to do on his birthday. He said he had a lot of chores to do and was hoping to spend his birthday, which was on a Sunday this year, completing a couple of house projects. I wasn't satisfied with this after considering it for a while, so I later asked him, what would be a nice thing to do on your birthday? He looked at me for a moment and started talking. We live on Long Island, New York. On the South Shore is a busy series of bays and barrier islands that are set up as beaches. There's a causeway that connects the main island to the beaches on the barrier islands. We visit the beach several times a week in the summer, driving over that causeway. He said that he thinks it would be nice to drive across the causeway early in the morning before the road got busy, to drive slow and enjoy the view. He's always been the driver, and it's difficult to appreciate the view when he's trying to keep an eye on the road, and that he always wanted to be a passenger so that he could focus entirely on the view of the sun coming up over the bay and the Atlantic. Then he just smiled and turned his focus back to what he was working on. We've driven over that bridge maybe 1,000 times together, and he's always driven. Knowing that that's what he asked for, I felt like an absolute asshole. The morning of his birthday, we woke up early, made some coffee, and I drove him over the causeway to the beaches and back. I drove slow, and he stared at the view on both sides of the car. When we made it back over the causeway, he asked if we could do it again. So we did. And when we made it off the causeway the second time, I asked if he wanted to go again, but he said no, that he was hungry and wanted to go home. I don't know if it was my imagination or not, but I thought he looked happier that day than I had seen him in a long time. He busied himself working on the deck, and I closed myself into the bathroom and fought off sobbing, because all he wanted for his birthday was to look at the water and I got him another fucking watch that he'll put on with all his other watches and never wear. I got him a watch because I actually don't know the man that I've been married to for a decade, who I've spent over 15 years of my life with.
It sounds like he has a bunch of watches too. Why'd you get him another one?
Yeah, he keep getting the watches.
Just 30 watches from the years of marriage.
Lined up.
Damn.
The next week, I asked him what would be a nice thing to do on a Saturday. He said he's always wanted to go to the Cradle of Aviation Museum ever since it's had its major renovation. I looked it up. It reopened following that major renovation in 2002. We were both 14 years old.
Oh my gosh. That man's been wanting to go there for decades.
This guy knows he can go by himself, right? Like he could have gone before marriage too.
He's basically
funny.
wanted to go there his entire life and hasn't made it. It's only 20 minutes away from where we live. When I asked him why he never went, he said he's always just been busy with work. So I took him to the museum, and I knew he was always interested in aerospace because his father and grandparents were all involved in that industry. When we got home from it, he went to work on our new planters out back, and I couldn't stop myself from sobbing in the bathroom. Now, with Father's Day coming up, I asked him what would be a nice thing to do on Father's Day. I always give him a Father's Day gift from our dog, and we have people over. I asked him what would be a nice gift from our dog this year, and he said that he thinks it would be nice if we drove out to the National Cemetery at Calverton to visit his father's grave. And he then said he didn't need anything for a gift. When I pressed him on it, he said, he's not a father since we don't have kids. My father's dead. I don't have anything to celebrate. And then I just broke down sobbing there in front of him. He thought I was upset about not having kids, but truth is, we never prioritized it, and it was too late medically for me when we did try. He had always taken a whatever happens, happens approach to the topic of parenthood, neither wanting nor not wanting children. But I was actually upset because in that moment, I realized that he didn't want anything I had pushed on him on Father's Day, and he had made the mistake. And I had made the mistake of prioritizing him over his feelings. His father passed weeks before our wedding, and his father's goal was to live long enough to attend our wedding, but the cancer was too far along. I fed him cake and steak for 10 years on Father's Day without realizing his thoughts were on the other side of the island at his father's grave. I failed him for our entire relationship. He asked me for absolutely nothing except that we not make a fuss over him, and I failed at even doing that.
Ooh.
Jesus.
Starting off on a tough
Coming up
one.
with
My apologies. Yeah.
Haymakers.
Jeebus.
Well, you can go off on this one, John, if you want. I know this one probably hits a bit closer to home for you.
Yeah. I mean, for this situation, what I kind of can see for this spouse is they have all the best intention in the world, right? And I think the problem is society kind of dictates us that we have to give gifts, and consumerism kind of say we have to give gifts, we have to do extravagant things for our partners. There's a societal pressure, especially with the advent of social media, is like, hey, you got to do all these things to validate your marriage, right? But some people, they just really enjoy the simple things in life, whether that's taking a stroll or, what like he does, he just wanted to see the sunrise. And for some people, that's everything to them. I don't necessarily blame the wife for, she's saying that I don't know my husband throughout this whole time. She was probably just led to like, hey, going to online forums or just seeing their other friends and doing this grand gestures for their partners and all that. But to me, she sounded very empathetic, right? Like at the end of the day, like her goal was to make sure her husband was happy. Execution might have been flawed, and she probably went a little bit over extra than she should have, but the love is there. You can see that the love is there. And she just needs to understand that, hey, he's just a simple dude, wants the simple things in life and doesn't want anything extravagant. So hopefully moving forward, she'll take that to heart. And I do like hearing when she says like, hey, what's something nice that, you possibly want to do on your day? So giving him the option, giving him like the avenue to say like, hey, speak your mind because I want to do things that you enjoy. So, it's not too late. I feel like I wish he opened up a little bit too, like earlier on and say like, hey, maybe these are maybe don't buy me watches. I just want this. He could also do a little bit better in communicating, but they just seem like they're different in terms of like what they prioritize in life. But there's nothing really inherently wrong about this marriage to me. It just seems like they just want each other to be happy. They just don't know how to figure that out yet.
Yeah, I think just to go off of your point at the end there about he could have communicated more, I feel maybe he's also like, oh, I didn't know I could ask for events, you know, like that. Like he's probably conditioned as well to think, oh, I need a gift, or like
material
gift is the only way to for these events or something like that. So I don't want that, and not thinking to communicate, oh, hey, I'd maybe like to do this or something like that. So good on the wife for trying a new tactic and unlocking that, new aspect to their marriage. Because that's, I mean, and like you said, she's trying, so it's not a bad marriage.
Not at all.
She is actively trying to do what he wants to do. Little short-sighted on the Father Day side of things with his own dad. I mean, that's a tough one. But again, he doesn't seem too
resentful.
No, he doesn't seem bothered by it. Yeah. Whether that's true or not, that's something they can communicate and talk to, and break that down more if they feel like they need to. But yeah, all in all, this seems like a fairly good marriage that she's trying to unlock what he actually wants, and I think that's nice.
Yeah, and I saw the switch too. Like as Sean was telling the story, that I feel like he realized that, oh, she asked me what I wanted. Maybe I could start opening it more. Because in the beginning, he was like, oh, I don't know. I don't really want anything. I don't really want to do anything. But, she was persistent. She wanted to make him happy. And he finally opened up and communicated. And it seemed like every time she asked for a follow-up, he was ready to say like, oh, yeah, I'd love to visit my dad. So hopefully, I don't know. I don't remember how long they've been together. But if they keep continuing that route of just expressing what they want and, the things that they want to do, They sound like a really great couple. They just need to talk a little bit more.
I will say it would have been nice of them to maybe start unlocking this, years before, when it sounds like they maybe wanted to try and have kids. It's like if they'd maybe looked outside of work or the grind set kind of thing, or like prioritizing other things, they maybe could have gotten around to kids if they wanted to, which sounds like they were on the fence about. But I'm just saying, like, if they had opened up years before that, they could have maybe started on children, and he could have actually been a father if he wanted to. Just another aspect. Not that they're wrong for not doing it. It's just, another thing that they could have unlocked earlier.
See what happens when you actually talk. Just talk.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You unlock so much things if you just communicate what you want.
Yeah,
for sure. And I just wanted to say, like, right now it seems like OP is really only looking at like the negative part of like, oh my God, I've missed 10 years of being able to do this. But if you look on the bright side, I mean,
you live till 60.
You
got 20 more years.
Y'all are 38. Y'all got a lot of life to live. And this is no jab on people like with kids, because I definitely want to have kids at some point. But like 38 and no kids, you have a lot of time, and
sounds like money.
38 with kids, you're probably you're dedicating a good portion of that to raising the kid, and rightfully so. But I'm saying in this aspect, you just found out how to communicate with each other to get his actual wants and desires, and now you have a lot of fucking time to do so. So like looking at the positives of it, it's only going to get better from here. So it's if OP actually listened to the show, doubt, but if they did, I would say look on the bright side. You got so many more years of doing things that you both find fun together.
Yeah, and there's lots of stuff off the island if you want. Want to venture off Long Island there.
Very close to Manhattan.
Very close to a lot of things, actually.
Or all of that area is pretty. The tri-state area.
Damn it, I want to go to New York now.
So
I want to go with you guys, and we just eat the whole time.
When do we? Yeah, I always want to go to New York.
It's therapy.